Hi Design Tech students. Today I'm going to show you how to make the diagonal support. These are going to go onto your columns and help make your structure sturdy. So again, just a reminder for this video and other instructions along with your work log, this can be found under Paper Roller Coaster Instructions and Work Log. And if you click on this link here, that says Paper Roller Coaster Rules, and you go all the way to the bottom, you see the construction video. So along with the videos that I'm making, there are tips and different videos here on YouTube to help you work on your project. So all resources you can use. So you guys know the drill. To make your piece, make sure that you have the template. This one says diagonal support. There's a short diagonal support and a long diagonal support. Make sure you've got a piece of paper behind it, so as you're scoring, you're not writing on your desk. Tape, ruler, scissors, and pen. Okay, and like the other video that we watched, we're going to start by creating all of the scoring on our page first. You'll probably be using more than 4 supports, so work smarter, not harder. Let's do all of the scoring in one shot rather than doing it 4 separate times. Okay, again, we're going to score along the dashed lines, not the solid lines. Those are going to be for cutting. I'm going to go back and forth once or twice so there's a nice indented portion. Glad that I've got a piece of paper behind there. I'd be drawing all over my desk like I did the other day. This is solid. Skip that. Go over to the other section. Okay, and notice like with a couple of our prints, because the template is just slightly smaller than the actual cardstock paper, there is a bit of overhang on this last piece. So like our columns and our tracks, it should end here, but there's a little extra. So when you go to fold that and you've got a little bit sticking out, just go ahead and cut that off. Or if you wanted to, you could make a line and cut that now if you feel so inclined, okay? Because that's going to be an overhang on your project. So I'm going to create the rest of my scores. Again, that's going to be where we're folding. I'm actually going to turn the light off here because I think it's easier to see those small dashed lines, okay? So that's going to be on these little triangles that are going to be folded and attachment points for the base of, it's going to attach the base of our coaster, that foam core board. And then there's also another tab where it's going to connect directly to the column. Okay, so I'm just going to make a little score line on that dash so it folds nice and neatly when I go to put it onto the column. So again, I know it seems like a little bit of work, but I'll have 4 pieces prepped rather than doing them separately and then trying to score on this little triangle and hold it down. It's easier, I think, if you're working with a larger piece of paper to hold that down. Almost done. I'm just going to have to do the attach 2 columns on my long diagonal supports right here. And then I'm done with the scoring. I can start to cut them out. Whoops. do that. Okay, so everything is scored. Now I can start to cut them out. Okay, so I'm going to start with a long diagonal support. There's no difference between the two. One's just longer. So really it's going to be up to your discretion if you're using a long or short support. Mostly that has to do with like where you have room to put them. So if you've got two beams that are kind of, or columns close to each other, you don't have room for a long support, that's where you would use a short support. So now that I have this piece cut out, I have to make 2 more cuts to make sure that I have these flaps, just like you had the flaps that you taped down for your column itself. You're not cutting the triangles here. You're just cutting out the flaps for this tab. Okay. Okay, now I can go ahead and fold my pieces. It's up to you. I know some kids like to fold it in so that you can't see the words and it's a little bit cleaner, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to fold it out just so you guys can see the words on this to see the attachment points. But again, you can fold it inward so none of that is viewable if you want your piece to maybe look a little bit cleaner. So super easy to fold now that I've scored it. So I am going to tape it together like a little column piece, the same thing. As I told you guys before, if you want to just maybe get a couple of pieces of tape ready, I'm going to rip off a couple of pieces here and have that set on my desk, especially if you don't have a dispenser. It's easier to just get that prepped before ahead of time. So you're not messing with it while trying to hold your piece together. Okay, so about 3-4 pieces should hold a long support. Again, just folding it over neatly. So once your little column is built, you can fold the tabs out. And again, these are going to be your attachment points. So once taped and folded, it will look like this. And then you're ready to attach this to your column. So here's one that we did in class today. Trying to see if there's an extra place I can put this. I'm actually going to take one of these off. You can see this is the short diagonal support. This is the long one. The only difference is the size. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove my one long support just so I can show you how to tape it on. So what I have here, maybe if I put it this way, it's easier to see. This says attach to base, so that's going to go flat down, just like the other tabs. And this one that says attach to column, it's just going to slip over like that. Okay, and then you'll have the tab there where you can tape it as well to make it nice and secure. So I'm going to hold that down. Now, the reason why you want your tape to be ready, I'm going to tape this side. I'm going to tape over here. I'm going to tape the tab that says attach to column. Make sure that's secure there. And then attach those 3 pieces to the base. And there we go. We have our diagonal supports. And again, this is going to help your coaster stay nice and stable and secure. Just like if you were on a roller coaster, you would want it to be, structurally sound. This is going to help your marble go down a lot smoother, because if it's shaking it as it's going down, it's going to be hitting the sides of the track, maybe throwing it off course, or just slowing it down because you're increasing the friction every time you're bumping the side. So this is going to help your coaster stay nice and structurally sound.